Hello everyone and welcome to our video. We're Balanced Witness and today we're going to present the financial results of a global leader, Lindt Sprüngli Corporation, for the fiscal year 2025. 2025 was in fact a year of remarkable resilience, characterized by rising cocoa prices in a volatile market. But nevertheless, Lindt Sprüngli managed to reach an organic growth of 12.4%. The reason of their success doesn't derive only by the premiumization of their product line, but also by a series of strategic decisions and acquisitions, like that of brands such as Ghirardelli in USA, of Bauer, Kufel in Austria, and Caffarel in Italy. Their mission and vision are based on three main pillars: innovation, sustainability, and excellence. In fact, their mission states that they aim to create premium chocolate and related confectionery and making all the production process trackable. While in their future vision, they see people working in cocoa growing regions, thriving in harmony, respecting Lindt's values that they are trying to convey all over the 120 countries in which they operate today.
To analyze Lindt's competitive environment, we used three strategic tools: the SWOT analysis, the PESTLE analysis, and Porter's 5 forces. Lindt's main strength lies in its strong global brand image and its reputation for high-quality premium chocolate. Its focus on craftsmanship allows the company to establish a strong emotional connection with consumers. However, this premium positioning also represents a weakness, since high prices can limit accessibility. Moreover, Lindt's product range is quite narrow, and its reliance on raw materials like cocoa can expose the company to supply chain risks. Looking at opportunities, the company can further expand into emerging markets and reinforce its e-commerce presence. Finally, threats include competition from global players, economic instability, and rising raw material prices, and climate change in cocoa-producing countries also represents a significant risk. Now, moving on to the PESTLE analysis. From a political perspective, Lindt faces risk linked to geopolitical tensions, especially in regions like the Middle East and Africa, where it sources cocoa. Additionally, conflicts such as the Russia-Ukraine war can increase energy and transportation costs. Economically, the company is affected by inflation, exchange rate fluctuations, and cocoa price volatility. And since it operates in the premium segment, economic downturns can reduce consumer spending. Socially, trends like sustainability, ethical sourcing, and health awareness are shaping consumer behavior. From a technological point of view, Lindt is investing in digitalization, including AI chatbots, e-commerce, and data systems, which improve customer experience and efficiency. Legally, the company must comply with strict regulations about food safety, marketing, and sustainability, and trademark protection is also essential. Finally, environmentally, Lindt is strongly committed to sustainability through initiatives like its farming program and sustainable packaging. Lastly, let's look at Porter's 5 forces. Competitive rivalry is very high in the chocolate industry, with major players competing on quality and sustainability, which has become a standard. The threat of substitutes is moderate, since customers have many options, but chocolate remains a popular and emotionally driven product. The threat of new entrants is low due to high barriers to entry, such as strong brand loyalty, large capital requirements, and established distribution networks. The bargaining power of suppliers is relatively high, since cocoa supply is subject to climate change and diseases. And the bargaining power of customers, finally, is moderate, since customers have many alternatives, but Lindt's strong brand identity and premium positioning reduce its price sensitivity. Now we will move on to the financial part of our project, which represents the core of our analysis.
Now we are about to focus on one of the key features of Lindt & Sprüngli business, which is its strong seasonality. In fact, thanks to this qualitative graphic, we can see that Lindt's success is not exactly spread equally all over the entire years, but it presents some major peaks, which are linked to the Easter and Christmas periods. Besides these two major events, 2025 has been an extremely important year for Lindt. In fact, the company has celebrated its 180th anniversary, which was a special occasion to remember its successes, its history and progresses. But now let's focus on the main peaks. Let's start from the Easter period. Now, in this moment, Lindt normally collects between 20 and 25% of its total revenues. So, the protagonists of this period are the gold bunny, which represents the symbol of Easter for this company, and Easter eggs. Of course, these products are mostly sold in the European and North American markets, and this is due to cultural and religious traditions, of course. Now, we can see that during the summer period there is a decrease in sales. Now, this is linked to people's preferences, who in this period normally choose more refreshing products, for example, ice creams. Despite this decrease in sales, we can see an anomalous peak on the World Chocolate Day on the 7th of July, which is celebrated through special editions, special contests. In general, it is an occasion to celebrate its premium chocolate. Going on, we find the final peak, which is the Christmas season. Now, in 2025, the Christmas season was a way for the first time for Lindt to partner with Showbrand Christmas Market, and together they created interactive chocolate workshop for make people more closer to this beautiful world. Now, despite these major events, we also have some important dates, for example, Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. During these moments, people often choose premium Lindt chocolate as the ultimate gift for their beloved. Now, we can see, thanks to the dotted yellow line, an upward trend of sales during the entire year. Now, this upward trend is also reflected in some of the major transactions. In particular, we can focus on the transactions occurred during the Easter, Christmas, and World Chocolate Day. In fact, during the Easter period, Lindt has recorded around 1,200 million. During the World Chocolate Day, which we remember it's a very short period, Lindt has recorded around 30 million of revenues, which is a very remarkable number. And then, during the Christmas period, around 1,500 million. Of course, part of the revenues are devolved for expenses. In particular, regarding the expenses, a 45% goes for raw materials and production costs, whereas the remaining for marketing, administrative, and logistic costs. Moreover, we can see that Lindt requested a loan in order to promote the Christmas season, a loan which was around 300 million. Now we can move forward to other transactions.
Lindt is committed to evolve, invest, and collaborate to contribute to a sustainable tomorrow, which is the key for demonstrating the company's accountability. To turn this vision into reality, we reported critical transactions that demonstrate its commitment. First, let's discuss about the farming program, which is the heart of Lindt's sustainability efforts, launched in 2008 that aims to promote good farming practices. The company invested 34 million directly into this program, and it was not only a donation but an investment in infrastructure, farming training, and so much more. Lindt also recognized that sustainability must be profitable for the farmers. To this end, the company paid out 5 million in cash as annual sustainability premium directly to cocoa farming cooperatives. Finally, trust requires verification. In fact, Lindt committed 1.8 million to independent third-party auditors, and this transaction was vital to certify that 100% of the cocoa supply chain met the environmental targets set for the 2025. After reporting this transaction, we prepared the two main financial statements, the balance sheet and the income statement. The balance sheet provides a snapshot of the financial position of the company at a specific point in time. It shows the assets, liabilities, and equity, illustrating the resource owned by the company and the resource used to finance them. Lindt's total assets stands at
10,099.27 million. We have 5,270.36 million in total equity and liabilities of 4,828.91 million. Crucially, we can state that the fundamental accounting equation is satisfied: assets equal to liabilities plus equity. The income statement, on the other hand, provides the financial position of the company over a period of time. Lindt generated a total revenue of 5,157.8 million. To achieve this, we managed total expenses of 4,165.1 million. This leaves us with an income before taxes of 992.7 million. After accounting for tax rate of 21.3%, we see the true efficiency of our operations. In fact, the company shows a net income of 780.76 million. This healthy margin proves that our revenues exceed our costs, demonstrating that the company isn't just growing but also performing.
Now, I will briefly walk you through the key points of our audit report on Lindt Sprüngli Corporation. The first area we focused on was revenue recognition. Lindt experiences very strong seasonal peaks, which create a cut-off risk near year-end. To address this, we reviewed the company's revenue policies and tested selected transactions to ensure that sales were reported in the correct period. For example, Easter and Christmas campaigns generated very large inflows, so verifying the timing was essential. The second area we focused on was inventory valuation. Lindt holds very high levels of inventories due to its global production cycle and seasonal demand. This exposes the company to risks such as spoilage or overvaluation. So, we reviewed the physical condition of inventories and checked that valuation was correctly reported. Finally, we focused on intangible assets, which for Lindt include trademarks, patents, and other intellectual property. Their valuation depends heavily on management estimates. So, we reviewed supporting documentation and verified amortization. Overall, the audit procedures confirm that Lindt applies appropriate accounting standards and that main risks are properly managed. For the AI component of our project, we mainly use AI as a technical support tool, not as a substitute for our analysis. AI helped us generate graphical elements, organize data, and estimate realistic scenarios for the transaction to be included in our financial statements. However, for what concerned the practical part and the strategic analysis, they were entirely developed by our group. Overall, AI improved efficiency, but the reasoning behind our project still remains purely human. To conclude, our analysis shows that Lindt Sprüngli Corporation is a financially solid company with strong brand equity, effective seasonal strategies, and a clear long-term commitment to sustainability. The financial statements show stable profitability, while the audit highlights that the main accounting risks are well controlled. Overall, Lindt demonstrates a clear balance between innovation, tradition, and sustainable business practices, which position the company for continued growth in the global premium chocolate market. Thank you for your attention.